What is up, guys? It is your boy, Kingdom Soldier, and I'm back again with episode 9 of the Kingdom Story. If you have not seen episodes 1 through 8, trust me, you're going to want to watch those first. There's a link somewhere on the screen to all the episodes. There's a link in the description so that you can watch every single one. Now, the last episode of TKS, we left off with me somehow graduating from high school and going to college. And I told you guys about this summer program that I had to do. Well, so the thing about the summer program, just a small recap, is that I had to finish the summer program because my high school was going to give me those credits so that I could get my diploma. And if I didn't get my diploma, then the college that I was at doing the summer program wasn't going to accept me in the fall, and going to this college in the summer would have been pointless. So this program is interesting. It's called the WISE program. There was 11 students, I think. I want to say, maybe there was 11 guys. I mean, it was really small. It was like 20 something of us. And when I first got there, I was told that I was going to have a roommate, which didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, okay, so you're going to give me a roommate even though there's only 20 people in the program and we have 2 full dorms. You're not going to give me my own room, whatever. So I walk into my room, and my mom, I remember her telling me, like, make sure you get the bottom bed, make sure you get the bottom bed, make sure you get the bottom bed. And I said, okay. So I put my stuff on the bottom bed, and then me and my mom go to do a tour of the school and all that kind of stuff. And we dropped off all my stuff, and then she left. My mom dipped out. I go back to my room, and my roommate, Solomon, is laying on the bottom bunk and had put my stuff on the top bunk. Now, I don't want to start off my college career in a negative, so I'm like, you know what? Fine. Let's move past that. Let's just let that go. Let's just, you know what? I'm not even going to talk to him about it. I'm like, oh, I see you got the bottom bed. He's like, yeah, I have, like, my back. See, he made something up, some reason why he had to have the bottom bed. I said, whatever, you know, it's all good. My name's Anthony. I'm from Seattle. You know, we wrapped it up, and he was an interesting dude, and you'll hear in a moment what made him so interesting. But he was a normal guy. So, you know, it was like, okay, this is my first time having a roommate ever in my life. You know, I had my little brother as a roommate, but I never had a stranger, someone I didn't know, as a roommate. So one day, I came home from class at night, and Solomon wasn't there. And I did my homework, then I went to sleep, and I woke up in the middle of the night. And Solomon is standing, like, just like this. He literally was just standing in the middle of the room with just boxers on. And so I opened my eyes and I'm like, oh man. But then I had to move my hand and look again because something caught my attention. What caught my attention when I opened my eyes again was that Solomon was wearing my boxers. My brand new roommate, for some strange reason, was standing in the middle of our room wearing my boxers, my Nautica boxers. And back in the day, in the late 90s, like, wearing Nautica and Tommy and Polo was so cool. And I was mad. So I was like, bro, I was like, are you wearing my boxers? And he was, now this is where I found out he was high once he looked at me. He looked at me and his eyes were bloodshot, and, you know, and I was like, and he's like, I'm sorry, man. You want me to take them off? No! Leave those boxers on. And I just said, you know what? Keep them. And just keep them. But don't wear my boxers again. He's like, well, you know, I was high and I was hungry, and I just reached in the drawer and I didn't know it was your drawer, and then I put on the boxers. And I'm like, so why are you standing in the middle of the room? He's like, I'm just trying to find some food and I don't have anything, but I have the munchies. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going back to bed. You should probably just go to sleep and you'll get breakfast in the morning in the calf. So he goes to bed. A few weeks later, one of the things that was cool is that my mom would send me food, and we had a guy on campus who would sell food, and I had gotten some chicken. And my mom sent me money, and I went and bought drumettes, whatever you call them, and I made them. Like one of my friends had a little like a hibachi thingy, like a little flat iron grill or whatever you call it, and I made my chicken on that, and I had like 12, 13 pieces of chicken, and I put them in the fridge in me and Solomon's room, and lo and behold, I go to sleep like a regular day. I wake up the next day, Solomon's already gone. I get home after one of my classes in the afternoon, and I'm hungry. And I go to the fridge to get my chicken. This dude had eaten all of my chicken. Those are fighting words. I don't want to, I know our country is really racialized right now, but you don't eat a black man's chicken. He ate my chicken. I mean, I was furious. I'm just like, what? And I was a cusser at the time, so I let out some cuss words. And I opened the door and I went and I found Solomon. I was like, bro, look, what, did you eat my chicken? And he's like, I'm sorry, man. I had the munchies. And I'm like, you know what? It's cool. I went straight to the RA for the summer program and requested that I get a new roommate. And instead of getting a new roommate, I got my own room. Now, I got my own room next to this guy named Javon. And Javon, just remember his name because in probably the next episode, I'll talk to you about how me and Javon almost boxed in front of the whole school. And so when I actually got into college in the fall, sorry, my camera decided to die on me. So Javon was a cool dude. He was from Detroit, he had that saying, what up, though, what up, though, what up, though. He said it all the time. Like, it actually kind of got annoying. He said it so much, but he was cool. Like, we used to spit raps together. We'd get in his room and we just freestyle for hours. I mean, we would just turn on a beat, and he had all these underground beats, and he would turn on a beat and we would just go at it. And he introduced me to Mobb Deep, and he introduced me to a different side of Eminem that I wasn't really exposed to. And I started listening a little bit more to like the East Coast version of Exhibit, not the West Coast version of Exhibit, like his old school stuff like Paparazzi and those kind of albums, or those kind of songs and stuff like that. And so I really liked Javon. We got along really well. Like, it was obvious that we were going to be boys going into college and that we were going to be friends for a long time. And the thing to remember about Javon is that in that summer, one of the problems he had is he didn't bring a lot of clothes with him, and Javon didn't have an iron. So he always used my ironing board, and I probably gave him like 3 pair of pants and 2 shirts. Just gave them to him like as from homie to homie, like friend to friend, like here you go. So I met Javon, and then the last person that I met that I really remember from the WISE program, the summer program, was my boy Darius. Now, this is another important figure that all 3 of these people, Solomon, Javon, and Darius, you'll hear about again in my college career. And Darius you'll hear about going through my life. But Darius was an 18-year-old cancer surviving preacher. He was an 18-year-old dude who started preaching when he was 15. He accepted his call to ministry and started preaching. And the oddest thing was that this dude was from Detroit, but he was preaching on Sundays during the summer program at churches in the area. Somehow they knew about him or something. I mean, he was like low-key famous. It was really weird, but he was the humblest guy ever. And he showed me a side of myself that I'd always aspired to. I told my mom when I was 15 leaving court that I probably was going to be a pastor one day, but that wasn't cool. So I was going to wait till I was older, like 40 or something, to do that. And Darius showed me a younger version of someone who cared about the Bible and cared about being a good person and cared about being a good Christian and went to church all the time. And it was strange to me. But me and Darius immediately linked up. Now, I was at a time in my life where I was smoking weed, I was listening to music that Darius definitely wasn't listening to. I was rapping, cussing a lot, and chasing girls, you know? I mean, it was the summer right after high school. And so we kind of connected, me and Darius, but we didn't have like a, you know, like we didn't have like a really firm connection because we were leading two different lives. But Darius was just a cool dude, and everybody saw him as just like that nice pastor preacher guy. And this will be significant as well in the next episode. But I wanted to set a tone for you guys of my college career. And basically, I got straight A's in the WISE program in every single class. That got me to graduate from high school. I gave those credits to high school. My high school allowed me to use those college credits to graduate. My college used those college credits to prove that I was college ready. And so I went to college in the fall. And when we go to the Kingdom Story episode 10, we'll be talking about my exploits as a freshman in college. I'll see you guys in the next video.